golden hour. Hello, welcome back. I'm Stephanie and I'm excited that you're here, and I'm excited to be here. Even if it's extremely gloomy, it's like the gloomiest, darkest. Is it the gloomiest, darkest, windiest day of the week? And of course I chose to film. But anyways, we're making it work, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. On this channel, I love talking about my houseplants. In this video in particular, I will be doing a little bit of repotting because I ordered some new pots and they finally came in. Well, my husband so kindly went to go and pick it up and bring it here, but they're here and I'm excited to show you some goodies I got with them, surprisingly. And I'm excited to repot these plants because they are in desperate need of repotting. So if you hear any wind sounds, it's just coming from my window. I had to open the window or else this room gets extremely warm. Hopefully you don't hear that. But anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna start with the thing that I'm most excited to show you. So I got my pots from the Prop Studio. They're located in Toronto. If you're in Canada, they're a great place to get pots. This is actually my first time getting pots from them, but the reason I say that they're a great place to get pots is because they have the kind of self-watering pots that I have never seen else, like on Amazon, which is where I usually buy my pots from. So this is a self-watering pot. The inner pot is clear. Usually they're white and you can't see through it. I really like that because I love being able to see my plant roots. So I decided to get some from them, and it's cheaper. They are cheaper than on Amazon at the time of filming this. And when I got them, they were on sale. So lots of pros here, lots of pros. So I got a few of like the miniature self-watering pots, the tiny ones. I will show you. You'll see them in a second, but these are the tiny ones, like the smallest ones. I think these are 3 inches, but yes, I like these. At first I didn't like them like ever because I always thought, who's gonna need this? This is so small, until I started collecting Hoya, and then you can never have too many of these. So anyways, I got a few of these and I got a few of the next size up. What is this, a 4-inch? No. I have no idea. But the next size up, I'll put the sizing on the screen. But yeah, and so it comes with this, the nice little indicator here. You know, you've seen these a million times, and then the wicks for them. So I got a bunch of these. And when I opened my package, I was very surprised to find some Planty Accessories. I was very pleasantly surprised, and she was so generous. She sent me a whole lot. So I believe, I could be wrong, but I know that the Prop Studio is affiliated with the Arttelier. I hope I'm saying this right. But anyways, they make accessories, and a lot of them have very plant-inspired looks about them. And I remember some time ago, I'll show it to you as I talk. Some time ago, I actually, she posted about them on Instagram, and I really admired them. Oh, this is way too bright. She said that she would send me a few. I'm surprised that she actually, this was like a long time ago. So it was so kind of her to remember and to send them to me. And I really like them. So there's this one here. There's this one with some nice flower petals. I love this one. And there's like a nice long one here. Love this one. And this one has some nice orange and purple, especially the plant inspired ones. So nice. This one has some nice, it looks just plant decorations on them. And it says all the materials used by the Arttelier are non-toxic and hypoallergenic. This is not sponsored by them. She didn't ask me to talk about them. I'm very excited about this because I loved it from the moment I saw it. I loved it, and I always wanted to have some form of some planty accessory or shirt or something, and I'm just glad to have my first set. I'm gonna put them on. I'm sorry. Does this make me look excited? I'm just looking at myself in the camera here. Ah, that is so pretty. I'm so excited. I'm trying to slow down. All right, so let's put on this one. All right. Ah! Okay, I'm done. let's start with the most desperate plant. The sun is messing with me today. It was super dark and now it's out. Anyways, I was saying that I have a few Hoya. So I have the Hoya New Guinea Ghost, the Hoya AH074. I have the Hoya Gunung Gading to repot. And I'm going to repot my Hoya Rime Splash. The poor thing, you know, a lot of, so tired of being repotted, but now I have actual real pots. I have five for sure, but the rest are maybes. Okay, so over here I have my very dusty Hoya AH074. This plant, it lives in my south facing window in my bedroom. Those pressure rod poles, you've seen it in some of my previous videos, and I have it wrapping around the pole going upwards. It definitely loves to vine. It's definitely one of those Hoya that just really love sticking out those really long, empty tendrils before it actually starts to do something. But anyways, here it is. It's actually pushing out new growth. It is a light lover. I have it in sort of like my DIY, you know me, my little pot in a pot, my cup in a cup. And I'm just gonna pull out, it's in pond. I'm just gonna take it out of its mixture. Yeah, quite mossy, but we will, that's okay. I'm not afraid of a little moss. Wow, it is. Oh, it started to push out roots out the bottom. Not a whole lot, just a few. But recently I've been trying to make it my goal to catch the plants that I know are not in their permanent homes. I'm trying to catch them before they go through the pot because I don't want to lose roots. Okay, so that's the root system here. This is what it looks like. Not root bound at all, but very heavily rooted, quite heavily. I have a little bit of moss in it, but I don't think that's harmful to the plants at all. Yeah, and it seems to love pond because I do find that because this Hoya is quite thirsty, I find the thirsty Hoya really like pond. This pot I know for sure is a lot smaller, not a lot, but yeah, it is smaller than this one. So this is like downsizing it a little bit, which I'm not sure if I want to do considering that it's pushing out so much new growth. I don't want to pot it up too big. So let's see. Oh, this is quite a size up. This is a lot bigger than what it was before, but I think that this is good. I think I'm gonna put it in here because if I put it in a smaller pot, I'm gonna have to come at it much sooner than I would like. Do I want to trellis this Hoya? That's my next question. I'm not in the mood to trellis today because that's a lot of work and I'm low on light. And this trellis would have to be so big because this Hoya has bigger leaves and I tend to make bigger trellises for bigger leaves. I actually think I do want it on a trellis so that I can move it around easier. If I have it wrapping around and growing along that pole, it might be harder to move. I have sent out a few polls recently, actually not a few polls. I have sent out one poll recently on my YouTube community page about language. So check it out. Just go through my feed. So I'm just gonna put in some corn here at the bottom. And I like to pull the wick up just a little bit, just because sometimes the wick can get lost in there. Now I'm gonna place it inside. Yeah, I do think I would have loved if this had a trellis. I've been asked a few times where I get my wire trellis from. So this is my wire trellis that I use. And I honestly believe I got it from the dollar store. So if you're in Canada, our dollar store is called Dollarama. It's like this green, very famous dollar store. And I went yesterday looking for it and I couldn't find it. And when I was at the cashier told me that it's in aisle 6. Next time I'm going to go there and check out aisle 6. Pretty sure you can find it even at like your local hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's. You can find it. It might just be a little bit more expensive at your hardware store compared to the dollar store. Find regular trellises, they move a lot. And with this, I can bend these to get them to sort of fit snugly onto the plant. The only thing though is to try not to poke your eye out. I have been close a few times. I'm gonna move it around to get it in the shape that I want it to be. I think this is just a little too small, but we'll see. We'll make it work. So I'm just gonna pop this in here. I'm gonna try to see if I can. There we go. Fit this in here. Yes, it does fit. Actually, love this. My other ones, it fits so tightly. The insert goes in so tightly inside of the pot that I can't fit my wire trellises. If I have extra, it's hard to fit it in there sometimes if I don't want to cut it. But this actually makes the pot work even better, makes it even more snug. Works perfectly for me. All right, so I'm just going to wrap this in. Oh my, I probably should backfill first, but I just want to be sure that this is going to work. I think it will. I think it will. Okay, so let's backfill. Nope, not rinsing off the pond or anything. Just gonna put it straight back in because the plant was living happily prior to this in this substrate, in this slightly mossy pond. So if anything, what I might do is before I put it back, give it a nice rinse, like flush it in the tap, but for the most part, well, not for the most part, I'll flush it in the tap. This little tray that I'm using, it's actually also from the dollar store, but I like this one because it's white. This is actually for dishes, like the bottom for a dish rack. I'm going to try to wrap this around. Man, it's going to be really top heavy because this plant is pretty heavy. Okay. All right. I actually really like this. I really like this. I am so glad that I decided to put it on a trellis. Ah, this looks so good. I'm very happy with it. I think it looks good. I like it. And now that the sun has gone down a little bit, I can show you the details. What I loved about this plant was the variegation. I just love how splashy it is. But like I mentioned, the splashiness is not very consistent. It's not loyal. So it's easy to lose the splash and it's very dependent on light. Plant number 2 is my Hoya. I always confuse if this is the New Guinea Ghost or the other one, but I'm pretty sure this is the New Guinea Ghost. Nicholsoniae New Guinea Ghost, I believe. This plant is super pretty. Love the mintiness to the leaves, that minty look. But it is a very thirsty Hoya. I do find, like I mentioned, thin-leafed Hoya to be quite thirsty. And I think it loves being in here. I think that I am not able to stay on top of the watering. If you look carefully, you can see that it has a crispy tip on one of the leaves there. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. It's so minute, but there is a crispy leaf here, right down at the bottom here. Some crispy leaves where I may have like made it go too far, and then it just yellows and loses a new leaf if you let it dry out too much. So let's stop that. Let's not. So I'm just going to repot it. I like its trellis. I don't want to change anything. Ooh, okay. Not root bound or anything. See, these thin-leaved Hoya, they've got such delicate root systems. Just making sure I didn't see anything. Just very delicate, they're not substantial, very fine. Yeah, the rest is all pond. It's not even a lot. Like there's not a lot of roots on here. Not a lot at all. Trying not to make a mess. This will be just fine for it. Am I undercut? Yeah, I think this will be fine. This will be overkill. The bigger ones will be overkill. This is plenty. This is plenty. And I get to keep some pon. I have a lot of new followers that recently started collecting Hoya. Welcome if you're new. I'm excited for you. And a lot of you, some of you even just have one Hoya and excited about getting some more. I'm so happy for you. I love Hoya. I do. Obviously, I have many Hoya related videos on this channel. It's funny. I never thought I would like Hoya this much, but now I definitely see what's so hot about Hoya. I see it. I think a lot of people love Hoya for the blooms, but I just love them for the foliage. The blooms are like cherries on top, so you know, it's like a bonus for me. Golden hour. All right, and that's our second one done. Oh, it's pretty bright. Oh, let's just come over here instead. There we go. That's our second plant, Hoya Nicholsoniae. It would benefit from having a little clip. It would benefit from a little clip here. I do have some clips. Actually, she also sent me a butterfly clip. I forgot about that. Beautiful, super cute. And it can go back into my south facing window. I've got this guy here. I got this from Facebook Marketplace. This is a Hoya Gunung Gading. Man, this thing is a looker. It's pretty good looking. I put it in water. It had 3 leaves. I lost a leaf, but I think that it has a few secondary roots. There are a few secondary roots on there. So I think that it could be a good time to sort of move it on to its next home. So I'm going to definitely put it in one of the smaller pots. I'm not sure if I want to put the Gunung Gading in pond or if I want to put it in my aeroid mix. That's a tough one. That's going to be a tough one. I like keeping my pond and my leca for my alocasia. And it looks like this because it has sun stressing. It's that sun stressed look on it that gives it that reddish color. I don't have a lot left and I really need to make another batch, but Stephanie is just being a little lazy. Okay, there we go. I think that actually, because this cup is so small, it's so small, actually don't need a whole lot to start. Perfect, so I'm gonna do it in there. I'm just gonna do everything over this so that if anything falls out, it could go right back in. Make sure I'm getting a nice mixture of everything. So easy. So easy. All right, that's it. But this one is pretty good. So I just need to give it a nice thorough drink. All right, easy peasy. I just have a strong feeling that you haven't subscribed yet. I don't know, just have a really strong feeling. Am I right? You might want to check. Just check down below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so as yet. I think you might like my channel. You're already here. And next, I've got this one. This is my Hoya Rime Splash that you may have seen me put into this vessel, I don't know, maybe a few months ago. I'm not sure if that video is still out. We're finally getting somewhere. So I'm going to put it in one of the miniature pots. This is Molly's Aeroid Mix. Love the thing. Not sponsored, but I just love the thing. It's good stuff. It's funny, my mom was struggling with some of her plants and she was saying how she put it in the mix and bada bing, bada boom, the plant started improving. I mean, it's not a miracle worker. It just has the right amounts of everything that, you know, that the plants like. Okay, so I'm gonna reuse this stuff. Nothing funky in here. And this again is from Molly's mix. So I actually want to keep some of this. I'm just gonna pop it in here. as airy as the Molly's mix is, just like with everything else, you just have to be so careful not to keep the water levels too high because you can still have overwatering. So yeah. Oh, this is so much better. Such a much better setup for this plant. Much better. Another one down. We are just, that's what's nice about small plants. You can just quickly get it done. This is my Hoya. You've seen this around before. Hoya Michele Splash. Listen to that wind. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is my Hoya Michele Splash. It gave me some leaves and then it stopped growing. It pushed out two and then it sort of, you know, dried up a bit. I do think when I brought it under my grow lights, I wasn't staying on top of the watering as faithfully as I should. It's just so much easier to work out of the little itty bitty bags. Oh, how are you guys doing? So, yeah. All right, how are we doing? Okay, we've got some decent roots. Roots are looking okay. Is that mushy on the end? No, that's just a little moss on the end. No, yeah, just a little bit of moss, but a little bit of like root damage, but not severe. That's it. So I'm just gonna see what size pot I should put it in. This does feel very big for this plant, but I think this plant is gonna get real big, real quick when I do right by it. Okay. Okay, so I placed that in, and let's see, pop that in here, pull up the wick just a little bit. So what are some of your plants on your wish list? That's a question I have for you. I was on, like, I don't want to say I was on a no buy, but I try to significantly reduce my plant spending. I used to have these haul videos. I was building my collection and I get so few plants now every month that it's insignificant. Sometimes I just get one or two new plants for the month. So it's pretty insignificant. But now I don't know how to put it. It's not that I'm getting bored, but that's just like the very not so nice way of saying it. I miss the thrill of having new plants and learning and discovering new plants. So that is one of the reasons why I sent out that poll on my Instagram. Not a poll, but I sent out a question on my Instagram asking about anthurium that you would suggest me getting as a beginner. I do not have, well, at the time of that, I didn't have a single anthurium in my collection. I did get one recently, and I'm going to share it with you soon, or maybe that video might be already up. If that video is already up, I'll put the thumbnail here about what anthurium I got. Yeah. The thing about anthurium, I guess the thing that did not attract me to anthurium in the beginning was something similar to what didn't attract me to Hoya in the beginning. And it was that at first, all the plants just look exactly the same. Like anthurium, because there are so many crossovers and people are able to, create new versions. Salina mixed with this and this mixed with that. It just starts to not all, but it just starts to look overly similar. That's how we're looking. She looking good. Oh, so pretty. Could never get over that splashing. It does feel a little wobbly. Maybe I'll add just a little bit more. Yeah, so I looked at some of the ones that you all suggested. I loved your suggestions. I also looked at some videos. I looked at Kaylee Allen's video of her favorite anthurium, her favorites, and like her entire collection. And so she has a lot of rare plants as well, right? I was able to find some that I really liked. And who else's video did I watch? I watched a couple others, and I was able to find some that I really liked. But they're on the uncommon side. Okay, next, and this could possibly be our last plant. This is my Hoya Rangsan. Oh, we're losing light. This is my Hoya Rangsan, and I like it because it has that Latifolia look to it. It's a Latifolia mixed with something else. I can't remember, but it has like a nice splashiness to it. I'm trying not to make a mess, so I'm gonna do this. Yeah, it has a nice splashy look to the leaves. It's a beautiful little thing. Yeah, very good. This is my second go at the Rangsan. The first go did not go well for me, so I hope that this will be it for me. All right, so I'm just gonna get this. I need another wick. Yes, okay, let's go. All right, so I'm pretty sure these were the wicks for the shorter ones. Whoopsie, I used the wicks for the short ones on the long ones and the long ones. I totally did. I knew they were long when I was putting them in, but I was like, meh. Oh, no, don't do that, friends. Don't do that. No bueno, Stephanie. Why'd you do that? My mother said that she had some wicks from pots that she bought and she didn't use the wicks. I don't know how that's possible for her not to, but anyways, I inherited these lovely wicks. But they just look like shoelaces. Thing is, depending on the kind of wick you get, it could sort of start to sort of disintegrate or sort of, start getting gross in the. I just made this way too big, eh? But it could start getting gross in the pot, you know. But anyways, we'll see if this is one of them. The thing about Pon and Leca is I don't find they perform well in self-watering pots. I don't think they wick up the water very well. Oh, I thought I lost a leaf. But I do think, what's it called? Perlite does so much better in self-watering. So try not to lose any roots. Yay, no roots lost. Pop these in here. Put that in here. It's too shallow because this was pretty deep. Right, so I'm gonna have to pour it back in and start over. I do want to have a thin layer on the bottom because I don't want the roots to just go back down into the pot too quickly. Oh man, it's too shallow. I may have to put it to lay down. Yeah, I may have to put it to lay down in the pot because eventually it was going to have to grow this way anyways. It wasn't going to continue growing upward like a tree. So yeah, but I was saying all of that with my about wish list plants. What plants are you trying to get right now? Please tell me down below. I asked some of you to recommend plants to me sometimes. So let me know what you want to get. So maybe you don't know plants that I would like, but let me know what you are gonna get. We'll add some more pond to the top. So the reason that I originally added leca at the top of this was to weigh it down because the perlite isn't heavy enough to weigh down the plant in here. I don't like this. I feel like it's gonna, okay, no, it's working. It's working. All right, so I'm just gonna compress it a little bit. I may just have to put that leca back up there. I was hoping that I was able to keep this leca for something else. That's okay. Yeah, I like this. I do think it needs just a little bit more pond at the top because you can still sort of see roots here. So I want to make sure that you can't see any roots. Make sure everything is nicely covered. Oh, I still have some in here. Some of that, but that's just perlite and it's not very heavy. I love using perlite as like just a medium by itself. I think it works very well. Of course, it works even better when you pair it with something else, but I think perlite by itself is a bit underrated. Or maybe people do talk about it and I just don't get to see those videos. Oh, my earring still feels so nice. Not heavy at all. Okay. Yes, I like it. And you can see the through it. Oh, I love that. Perfect. Yes. So I do have it, keep it propped up in the back of my cabinet over there. Not my cabinet, but my shelf. So I'm gonna keep it a little propped up, nicely, gently propped up. But yes, this is it, sweetheart. Yes, please, and thank you. Surprise, we're gonna add one more plant to the list. One more plant that, you know what, it's been performing really well lately, and honestly, it deserves an upgrade. It deserves an upgrade. My Hoya Latifolia Snow Queen, but it's reverted. A friend gifted this to me. I told her that if any of her plants, like start reverting, and sometimes we cut off those leaves that are reverting to encourage more new growth with variegation, that I'll be happy to help her out with those and take those off her hands. It's a nice way to get to experience different plants. And so she gave me this one, and it is such a great grower. Like latifolias are, they're amazing. They grow so beautifully. But look at the number of growth points on this thing. But look at all the new growths, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like all these different growth points. And I don't mean leaves, but these are growth points where like new vines are going to start growing out of. I am impressed with this plant. It's been doing so well. And so you know what? Let's repot it. Let's upgrade it. I know. You must be very surprised. You did not see that coming for yourself. Let's just rock its world. It's currently in my DIY aeroid mix. It was the plant that liked my aeroid mix, my DIY soilless mix. None of my other plants were doing well in it. And this was the first one, one of the first, I should say, that it's just so resilient and so easygoing. I was like, meh, that's okay. I'll take what I can get. All right. Yeah. And it dries out so quickly. So it doesn't surprise me to see all of these lovely roots here at the bottom. It dries out really fast. Yeah. So here we go. Quite of a big upgrade. And it could stop growing because, Hoya, when they're trying to, feel their parameters, they sort of stop growing sometimes. But could it be so that the plant will just continue to push out the growth, even if it's being repotted? I've had some plants that have done that. I've had some Hoya that have done that. There we go. I just love these clear pots. That's my new thing. I know I'm late. I'm late to the show, but I hope to, eventually get a cart. I'm looking up on Facebook Marketplace to see if I could get one of those nice IKEA carts to sort of put my plant stuff in. But I'm just waiting a while, because sometimes you want something and then you think it'll work for you this way, and then you wait a little while before getting it, and then eventually you're like, actually, this other thing would be an even better idea. That happens to me a lot. So I'm just being patient. But yes, this is our surprise plant. I can't believe I took so long to uppot this plant. Well, partly because I didn't have the right size pot that I wanted. But look at this Juliet. She is stunning. Oh, she's a looker. Like, even if she doesn't have like the famous Snow Queen, very splashy variegation, I like her a lot. Thanks again for watching. If you liked this video, here are some videos I think you might enjoy. A big thank you to our Patreon members, especially our tiered members. There's Rachel and Carla in the Diamond Falls tier, Patricia in the Piton tier, and Delaney in the Pigeon Island tier.